Undergrunt Podcast Network.
I met him 15 years ago.
I was told there was nothing left.
No reason, no conscience, no understanding.
And even the most rudimentary sense of life or death, of good or evil, right or wrong.
I met this 6-year-old child with this blank, pale, emotionless face, and the blackest eyes, the devil's eyes.
I spent 8 years trying to reach him, and then another 7 trying to keep him locked up, because I realized that what was living behind that boy's eyes was purely and simply evil.
In a small little ship in the center of Mars was a sack of souls with experiment scars. When the psychedelic monk said, "I'll take 2," and he put them in a rocket and he ate a lot of glue. And he shot them straight to Earth where they turned into babies. They were named Bob and Matt, and they rarely got rabies. And the monk made a movie of their whole entire lives. They were panoramic scenes and zooms of the time. One time Bob had sex with a ladle, and one time Matt lost a vet to a cradle, and another time Bob caught a dinosaur mom, and another time Matt bought a replica of Guam. And all this and more is on a DVD set, only $20.99 with the purchase of a gem. But if you call right now and say, "Where's my whisk?" we'll include this bonus disc.
Hey, welcome to Bonus Disc, Episode 3, a movie podcast based out of Baltimore, with me, a host, Bob Rose, and with another host, Matt P.A.
That's me.
Yeah,
I don't
Matt,
want to be a host.
and joining us, I'll tell you, Matt hates not being a co-host, so I just do this to him.
Be a co-host.
He wanted to know what it felt like, so. And with us today is Pat Storck.
Hello.
Yeah.
I'm fine being a guest.
You'd probably be, yeah. That's,
Well,
co-guest.
at least someone's fucking happy.
yeah.
I don't know. We did watch what we watched.
Whoa, yeah, we watched something. So we watched Vampiyaz. Vampiyaz. Can we spell that for everybody, please?
Vampiyaz.
Vampiyaz.
So if you're Googling it, that's how you find it.
Yeah.
And you're gonna want to Google this. Yeah.
We should have checked YouTube for the fucking. We'll get to it. But yeah, so this. I mean, it's a vampire movie, kind of.
It's a vampire movie. Don't say it's not. It's a vampire movie.
Yeah. It's also From Dusk Till Dawn, where it takes its time getting to the vampires.
There's a first half.
Yeah. Although there was a random vampire attack in the first half that, as far as we know,
was superfluous to everything.
Yeah. I don't even know if it was was it one of the other vampire girls?
It was one of the vampire hunters got killed by a vampire in a bedroom.
If you've ever wanted to see what a vampire that owns Rite Aid Business Envelopes looks like.
Yeah.
I know that's so dumb to remember that part of that, but
there was a lot of product misplacement in this movie.
Yeah.
Like
Product misplacement.
Yeah, there was a Dixie like paper cup box that was just upside down. Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Technical difficulties.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there was like, there were boxes that were upside down to hide label, and then at a certain point it was just, fuck it.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Nobody's watching this.
Yeah.
No one's gonna find out we didn't cover something up. Doesn't matter. Actually, all of those kind of props stuck out like sore thumbs because there was nothing. There was, you know what I mean? There was like nothing around. It looked like vacant buildings they were filming in.
The whole movie feels like they had the opportunity of like, we have a week where we have this abandoned building, so let's shoot a movie inside of it, and every room will just light different, so it looks like a different building. And they were like working on the building while they were also making the movie.
It was almost like rooms were getting painted as the movie was filmed. Where you'd be like, I think we were in this room before, but now they just painted it white.
Yeah.
Well, legitimately, like that's how we did Corpus Christi. Was we had a building that was an abandoned building that was going to get completely gutted top to bottom, and the top floor had been mostly cleaned out, but there was work being done on the rest of it. Yeah. So we were told, do whatever you want. We're gonna have to rip these walls out. Like, blood on the floor. Yeah, we're tearing them up.
There's no restrictions.
Yeah, just be careful in case we didn't get all the needles out.
Hey.
But did you blow up anybody in a wheelchair? Is the question?
Well,
did you take full advantage?
For that. Come on, you're better the lead.
No. The best part of the movie.
Now you all have to listen to the end of the podcast because we're gonna get to that.
Yeah, we'll get to it. It's fine. It's the whole thing's a spoiler.
I mean, we should tell what the plot is, but the plot never.
Yeah, he tried.
Let's try and figure out the plot on mic.
Okay.
So it opens
with two guys trying to crack a safe.
Right,
in a garage. while showing us simultaneously intercut shots of New York City.
Right, but New York City at night, even though the garage was during the day,
Yeah.
and it's him trying to crack a safe in record time, but it's a safe they own. So I've got to assume that if he's cracked it a couple times practicing, he might just know the combination?
Yeah, right?
And it's also the safe from the rest of the movie, just from a production standpoint.
They did not buy another
They
safe.
bought one safe.
Well,
it kept
Bob, you
moving.
gotta
Or
buy
it's
a
a popular
replica.
model, and that's why he's good at it.
Yeah. And also, I mean, you guys remember this from the beginning when they were cracking the safe in the garage? There was like this table that had tools splayed out on it, and some of them were like vampire-themed tools.
I didn't notice
there was
that.
like
There were,
crosses
and stuff. Yeah,
and it was like,
and
I
thought that they were hunters and that they knew what was going on.
These are two characters who have never, at this point, encountered vampires before in their life.
Yeah. Which, for the record, nobody seems surprised at the existence of vampires.
No.
No.
Well, who the fuck else is in the movie except for like two people who aren't vampires?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or the people
The people who know about
Right,
them
but
already.
the two main
yeah.
characters, each of them, their first encounter is just kind of,
Yeah.
but not like, oh, these things are real.
There's no
No,
explanation
yeah.
of vampires in the movie.
No, there is. They go over the rules very specifically in the one scene.
Okay.
Because
they
guy-
basically
yeah.
say, you remember Dracula? Yeah, all that shit's real.
Yeah, it was a
And then
throwaway
they-
line. Like, movies are real. That was,
it's like, I'm a vampire and he's my Renfield. And then the main character says, oh, so I guess you got plenty of weaknesses then, and just goes down a laundry list of how to kill vampires. And it's just kind of like, you've just been told that vampires are real, and you're like, okay, I got this.
Yeah.
I read about that.
Fine.
Dude,
Yeah.
I think I read about that. I don't know shit about werewolves or whatever. I got this vampire thing down.
Yeah, I can't remember what somebody I went to grade school looked like until I bump into her again.
Yeah.
Even though, well, let's
here
go
we
back.
go,
Let's
yeah.
back up.
Okay, so those guys are going into it. They're trying to break into a house.
Yeah, this
steal-
guy's like, I got a house. I know there's a
This-
safe in
it's
there.
a
There's
this is-
nobody's going to be around.
In hindsight, this might be the most baffling scene in the
Yeah.
whole movie because of the guy.
Yeah.
So they're trying to go into a house to break into a safe to steal jewels from
For a big score, because there's lots of paper in there, except there's no paper.
Yeah.
there's
There's
just
no
jewels.
paper.
We hear
Yeah,
the
hold
phrase.
on, we got to
There's
talk about that scene.
there's so much paper
The
in there.
guy does not want to go in the house because the other guy has a gun. Like the main character, Jakeem, and Khalil is the guy with the gun.
Yeah.
He's like, they're having this argument where Khalil just keeps saying the same thing over and over again, right into the side of the other guy's face while he's also delivering lines.
Yeah.
It was so awesome.
Yeah.
He just kept going, do you know how much paper there is?
So
do you
much
know
paper.
how much paper there is?
I assumed
But
it
you
was-
got a gun, but you got a gun. That paper, you got a gun.
And
They repeated so many
Yeah,
lines so many
we don't
times.
really know why there was a lot of paper in there, right? They never.
No, there
I
was
think he was
none.
implying
There
it was a big
Mardi
score,
Gras,
but
plastic
yeah.
beads.
No, I'm saying
jewelry
is
in
we
there.
weren't told what the significance of that house or.
No,
He
no,
just
no.
knew it was a
It's
big
just a
score.
score,
This,
okay.
Yeah.
this guy had a lot of jewels, and he was clearly not home because all of the lights were off late at night. Which
no
okay,
no one does that.
Yeah.
And who
And,
the fuck
you know,
doesn't leave all their lights on all the time? This is fucking America.
yeah. And dumb to luck, there was a dude asleep
Right.
in the house at nighttime with his lights off.
What was he wearing, Pat?
Well, he was wearing a full body pink onesie and a baby bottom.
Baby body.
Yeah, it was unbuttoned. You could see his ass on the stairs.
Yeah, when he woke up.
Yeah,
after
yeah,
he
the
woke
he
flat
was
up.
wearing
was
black
missing.
panties.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
was wearing black women's lacy underpants under a pink onesie.
They were lacy granny panties, though.
They did cover
They were
his whole
large.
ass.
Yeah.
But I mean,
Yeah.
why? How does that guy get like? There's a safe in this house, full of jewelry. We're gonna rob it. How do you? I mean, why?
Where did the information come from?
Yeah. I mean,
I
is that
don't
guy
know.
like some
they didn't
kinda
give it to
complete
us. We
lunatic?
didn't have
No.
it.
He's just like a maniac,
Also,
and nobody
well,
fucks
he
with him.
was.
'cause
I know
he's
we
the-
didn't say when we were watching it, but one of the burglars also put on that weird mask,
Yeah,
and the
and
other one didn't.
Yeah,
No,
the other
he
one,
put
the
a
one who went
bandana
into
over
the
his
room,
mouth.
yeah, he covered his face eventually, but for the most
Part
part
was
of the robbery,
He had his
he
face
had nothing.
exposed.
Yeah,
he was totally exposed. Yeah, and the other guy had that mask, which was
Like-
very odd choice.
yeah, it was like a weird, like luchador
half
looking,
luchador mask,
but
yeah.
if you got one of those like old Rite Aid costumes,
mask. I'm telling you, man, they went to a party store and knocked a lot of the props for this movie out. They got that hand, that mask, and those beads.
Yeah,
at like a Halloween extravaganza shop or whatever.
That hand was in so much of the movie. I'm surprised it didn't get like fifth billing.
Yeah, it was billing. So yeah,
so wait, they're cracking the safe when he's cracking the safe next to the baby man.
Oh yeah, the guy who was worried about him not going through with it.
Yeah, he's in the hallway eating a bag of chips
as loudly as possible.
Like just crunching on chips and crumpling up the bag into a ball like a lunatic.
And I'm gonna say right there, that was the first evidence that they were having fun making this movie.
Yeah,
that was funny.
It's not a heavy-handed movie. It's not at all. Yeah.
But the one thing, like I said earlier, like at that point they should have tense like music playing, like just background music, but it's like a rap song at full volume. So him crunching the bag and eating was almost not even audible.
Yeah.
But you could infer that it was a problem, but it wasn't. It was so stupid. It was just like, what is happening? It's awesome.
The reason he gets the Mardi Gras beads out that isn't paper, and the reason the guy in the baby costume wakes up is because of the guy silently hugging and cheering, which didn't really make much noise.
Right, but they had a giant screaming argument in the hallway beforehand.
Right outside
they had all
the door.
Chips. They had all of this noise, so like, there's nothing, and the guy and pulls a gun out from under him.
Hugs. Like,
ain't no hugging in my house. Baby man angry.
So he shoots at one of them. He chases him down the stairs. They're about to leave, and Khalil falls over, so they can't leave, and he's got the gun on him. He goes to kill him, doesn't kill him, and then they have the weirdest conversation where he's like, "Man, you were gonna shoot me? Fuck you!" And he's like, "Fuck you!" Like it was like,
"Fuck you! You're a curse on anyone who ever knew you.
Yeah.
You're a pox upon all your friends and family."
Yeah, so it's like personally attacking him.
Dude, it was awesome. That was like a conversation that should be happening out in the street if some guy bumped into another guy and like made him drop something. Not when another guy just fired a gun at you and you just robbed him. You know what I mean? Like, hey man, fuck you. No. Fuck you.
It got so specific. It sounded like if you let the high school guidance counselor give the graduation speech and he just went off on a tear.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you're never going to amount to anything. You all suck.
And he didn't specifically attack the fact the guy's dressed as a baby, which I thought was funny.
Yeah, right.
Like,
never mentioned.
You're getting personal here, and you're not going to say anything about him being an infant?
Yeah.
What's happening?
So he
ends up killing the baby man, right. The guy in the luchador mask kills the baby man.
Yes.
This is all before any vampires.
No, we have seen a vampire.
But outside of this situation.
Oh, completely outside.
Yeah, in the Rite Aid Business Envelope house.
Yeah.
And by the way, the one brother, the one who went crazy and killed baby man, I couldn't tell if the actor was coked out of his brain or if that was supposed to be the character. Because the performance was a little hyper, and
he
did kept sniffling a lot more than necessary.
But it worked for his character.
Amped. It did.
He was excited to be filmmaking.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so he kills him, and the other guy can't deal with the fact that he's murdered somebody.
Yeah, so
and they argue about that.
While they're driving the car across the
Hold on. Before they get in the
motion.
Before they get in the car, this expert safecracker fumbles with his keys for a good 20 seconds. So you can break into a safe, but you
can't get a key into a lock.
Into your own vehicle. Into your Ford Colt or whatever it was. Yeah.
There's a boat apparently.
Oh yeah.
So
when it hit the high seas of the late night roads of Brooklyn.
This is something you can't almost describe. You have to see this scene to believe it. It's like if you're there on a motorboat hitting really harsh waves and it's going smoothly up and down at a rapid pace.
The boat or the car.
The boat.
The car is
the car, which is not a boat of a car, by the way.
Right. No,
at
it's
all.
like a little
tiny car.
Little Pinto type. Yeah. And it's just chopping through the waves. It's just rocking up and down and up and down to the point. I mean, you're getting seasick watching this.
It was gross. It was weird.
Yeah, and they're going really fast too. So are they feeling this motion? Okay.
It was like the car they were in was moving and the camera that was moving too. You know what I mean? Like
it was just a
too
parked
much.
car with just like grips on the front and back, trying to rock it so that it looked like it was.
Yeah, I think that was what was happening. Is
Yeah,
somebody was just pushing up and down on the car, and they were filming it with a static shot.
Okay.
Yeah, so it just looked like a boat. Because there's no background. It's at night. It's all dark.
Yeah,
it
it's
just
just
looks like
black.
them flowing up and down. It's so distracting.
I didn't understand what you said at first because you were like, "What are they in the sea?" And I was like, "Okay, what?" And then I just started to notice it, like, 'cause it just started getting crazy.
Because
And
the
then
camera
you
work
can't
hadn't been
unsee
great
it.
up
You lose
until
half the
then.
scene, but luckily they're just repeating themselves.
Yeah.
I told you not to do that, man. We've got all this money. Look at the jewels. Oh, but I told you not to bring a gun.
To be fair, the camera work hadn't been great up until then.
No.
So not noticing that.
And okay, to cover the camera work in general, because it's through the whole film.
Yeah.
There were clearly two different cameramen.
One,
There's the one guy
obsessed with dollies.
absolutely obsessed.
Everything
with
was
dolly
pushes
planning and
and-
tracking shots.
yeah.
Like he clearly went to film school, and he clearly had watched a lot of like Wes Anderson
Yeah.
or Paul Thomas Anderson, any of the Andersons.
The editor, however, didn't go to film school because
Absolutely
all we
not.
saw was them getting to the end of the dolly track and then coming back the other
Oh yeah, it
direction.
just drifted back and
Back
forth. Although
and
that might
forth.
have just been that was the best take we had, or but
Something,
it
yeah.
all
just
those
kinda
scenes were just
drift,
people sitting there.
and it's just drifting. As opposed to the other camera guy who's like, "Fuck your dolly, I'm gonna go handheld. And I'm gonna hold it at my hip and assume."
It's like I'm filming Matt Damon, it was
Yeah.
just insanely
God.
shaky with a video camera, which is not great. It's
All right,
always
we
just
gotta.
like,
We must push forward.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
well,
So
okay,
they're
in
arguing
the
in the
car, in the
car.
boat car.
And then they run over a woman.
Well, because they're
Okay.
arguing so much that the
The other guy just
passenger,
starts punching him
who
in the
is
face.
ultimately responsible for this.
Oh,
Let's
yes.
I know that everyone put blame on the lead,
Yeah,
but
Right.
the passenger starts punching the driver repeatedly in the face. And then all of a sudden, somebody shines a flashlight through the forest, or that was the headlights, or I couldn't.
Yeah. It was
They're
hard to
really
tell.
deep they're in a back like woods road.
Yeah.
They're not
They're
like
in
in
the
a
deep forests of Brooklyn.
and there's a and there's an innocent nice woman walking across the road
And they
at
just-
the time
Yeah,
after this robbery.
pretty much like hitting a deer.
Yeah.
Like, it was like there's just a random woman.
It's
in the
literally
middle of the forest,
yeah.
in the road.
if you've seen Harry and the Hendersons, it's that scene but with like a nice woman
Yeah.
instead of Harry. Yeah.
And then, so they get out of the car, and the guy's like, "We gotta help her." And the other dude, Khalil, shoots him. He says later in the movie he shot him in the arm. It
It
really
looked like
hard
he
to tell
shot
what
him in the
fuck
head.
happened.
I thought he
Yeah.
shot him in the
I
head.
thought chest or something, but I mean he was alive. He was struggling, but he was trying to help the woman. He checked for her pulse, which he also checked for the pulse of Baby Man, who was shot in the chest and
Yeah.
had blood pouring out of his mouth.
So he's
Yeah,
qualified,
definitely.
at least
Yeah,
that we know of.
He's
Yeah.
got at least EMT.
Dude, he can
based-
feel
yeah.
tiny bumps in a safe. He can feel.
Yeah, that's
the
right.
That's true.
blood
It's very
flowing through the
sensitive
thing.
to like
Yeah.
vibrations.
I like that.
And you know what? Like at this point, like I don't know about you guys, but at this point, like they had that scene where the vampire woman killed somebody.
Yeah, it was a vampire
Now
hunter.
I
getting
didn't
killed by a
pay much
vampire.
attention to how she looked, so I assumed that the person they hit was the vampire lady, and that when he shot the guy and he was laying there bleeding, that my assumption is, oh, obviously
The vampire's
she's
gonna
gonna
get
be
him.
like,
Yeah,
thank you for
that's-
defending me, bite him to keep him alive. And then the rest of the movie is going to happen with him being a vampire.
But
that is so
instead-
not what happened.
Yeah. Instead, the other guy gets into the car and speeds off as you hear police showing
Kills
up to
one
their
other
side.
person, doesn't he?
Yeah.
He kills one more person.
Just because, yeah. Some
Who was it? Shit.
it was
Oh, you're right. He did
He
kill
does. He
someone.
killed it
'Cause
because he's
even
like,
the-
man, three
Three
people
in
in
one
one night
night.
must
that
be
must
a record.
yeah.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, so he kills another person for some reason. Then a hooker approaches him, who may or may not know him because he sort of seems familiar.
Oh,
He said,
it was
"I
the
told
hooker.
you not
he thought
to."
he killed the hooker who turned out to be the vampire.
Right, and then
Son.
yeah, he gets into an open car that has a key in the ignition.
Then she's in
Because
the
that's
back
not
of the back
suspicious.
seat with her
Yeah.
teeth flared.
Wait, we can't
Her
gloss over
yellow
how she
teeth.
tried to like molest him on the street. It made no sense. She just walked over and was like, like, come with me right now. And he's like, nah, leave me alone or whatever. And then
Yeah.
she just starts like unbuckling his pants, like she's gonna fuck him in the road.
Right, yeah.
and
it was
like
really weird.
Yeah, it was super
And
odd.
I'm going to assume that, I mean, I don't want to watch it again. I'm going to assume that she was the Rite Aid Business Envelope scene woman.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, like
I
they were
guess.
just
Does it
establishing her
matter?
as like a vampire in the city. I guess, or I don't know.
You saw it for like half a second.
So yeah, he gets bit by her.
Yeah.
And then we fade out.
Yeah, we
we
fade out,
we
but
fade
we fade
light out into a little while later.
The
main
worst
character,
montage I've ever seen in my life.
So he goes to, we're going to call it prison. It looked like an abandoned mental asylum where he is literally the only person there. There are no guards.
Yeah.
There are no other prisoners. There is paint peeling off of all of the
like
walls.
you said, Pat,
like
it was
Silent
filled
Hill.
with snow, ash, or sand. We couldn't even tell.
Yeah.
There was some
Something.
It
substance
was like
everywhere.
Snow cane.
Yeah, snow cane. Yeah. Yeah, it looked like...
It was like, hey, I found this abandoned place. There's a hallway in it that isn't completely destroyed. We can film in there. There's bars.
Like the ghost hunters would have went here at some point. It just looks abandoned. There's no guards. There's no other inmates. Anything.
Wasn't he like leaning against a portion of bars that wasn't even complete?
Yeah.
Like, yeah. Like, where are you?
They just put him in a lead paint factory.
And keep in mind, at this point, we haven't been told what happened for the whole scene of the accident. We don't know how he got here.
So this is where the plot needs to exist but doesn't, because why did he go to prison?
Let's come
He
back
was
to
like-
that repeatedly.
Just keep asking yourself, why did Shaquem go to prison? Because there isn't a reason.
We're going to keep giving you nuggets that lead you towards.
But, I mean, this is where, that Sin City scene happens, which is it fades out and then it fades back in and says 8 years later.
8 years later, he gets out of prison. He makes a phone call.
to establish that his family doesn't want him anymore.
Right, yeah.
To clean that up in 2 seconds.
Then he hires a prostitute, the lovely and talented Debbie Rochon.
Right, yeah. That was probably the most competent scene in the movie, too, honestly.
Yeah.
Honestly, probably the best acting and most competent scene.
Yeah.
There was no shaky cam. There was no insane dollying.
There wasn't a rap song playing over the whole thing.
Maybe
There
she
was dialogue exchanged one at a time.
It honestly was the most competent scene in the movie, without a doubt. Yeah, so maybe she had some control in that scene or something. I don't know. But, So,
he hires a prostitute to hug him.
Right. He doesn't want to have sex.
No, he just wants to hug her.
Just wants to be hugged.
He's been in prison for 8 years. He's like, I don't know why. I need to be hugged.
I just want to start slow.
I was all alone.
I don't know what affection is. I've been alone in an abandoned building for 8 years.
That's just human contact. There were no guards. I couldn't even ask who won the Super Bowl for 8 years.
Like I said, this is a hard one to describe, guys.
Then the greatest scene in the movie happens because, oh my God. The guy, all right, so Jakeem is just
He goes back to his old...
He goes back to his old neighborhood, and he's walking down the street. He sees the girl he hit with the car, but he doesn't realize it's her. I still don't know
what happened there.
He recognizes her, but he recognizes her from
school.
math class.
Yeah,
Boy, wait, can't wait. We're forgetting one thing.
She looks at him like,
Wait.
math?
We're forgetting one important thing before that happened. He said, do you know where, 825 Maple
125 Main.
Was it 125?
125 Main. Main is usually an easy street to find in most towns because it's
the main road.
The main road. So she goes, and she says, no. And he goes, well, I've been wandering around looking for it.
He did say
And
that.
then we learn that he went to school with her and
he's
that
from
he's
that
from that neighborhood, so he can't.
She's from the same neighborhood. They grew up in this neighborhood, and he can't find Main Street. You don't just drop a Main Street in the middle
That's
of the
all
town.
you know. That's the first layer of what do characters understand here? Who is who and what
He
does they
ate
know?
8 years worth of paint chips.
had to.
There was no food in that prison. He just kept picking the walls.
But there is a lot of paint chips.
There's a lot of paint chips.
Yeah.
And
So
he
they
looks
had
healthy.
They had this
Yeah,
conversation where you can't tell if he knows if she's the woman he ran over, even though they show you him staring at her before he fades to black.
It's because she's beautiful, though. It's not because that's why, right?
I guess. Anyway.
I like how all three of us were like, what?
Yeah, we were all like, doesn't he not?
Do they not know who they are?
They
Then
both
he
clearly
says-
recognize each other from anything except the most important turning
Moment
point
of
in
their lives.
I can't remember anything about it. Although I went to prison
for 8 years and you
for
were crippled.
something where I was found on the side of the road by you without the jewels that no one would know I stole because I was bleeding on a road next to a crippled woman, but we don't know who each other are, and all that litigation, we've never even heard of
Remember
each
how
other.
fun high school was?
Yeah! Calculus, right? Jeez, shit is crazy.
Now, to be fair, I think I saw your face the night I almost died, but then my whole life was flashing before my eyes, so everyone was there.
Yeah, everyone was there.
But then, so he asked her to do something, and she doesn't want to do it with him or something.
He
and
basically
then-
kind of asked her on a date,
yeah,
sort
and she
of.
like turns him down, and then he goes, "Well, I hope I can run into you again soon."
Yeah, and there was
But not
neither character blinked on that.
No, it was not like given funny or like
Yeah,
it
I
had
want to
no
say that was like
significance in the scene.
It was a complete, like, it was not intentional at all.
either it was beautifully unintentional or it was, please do not play this up. Please just let's all inside laugh at this. Like when we watch the movie, that's for us.
We'll know.
Oh,
Yeah, we'll
man.
know.
But that's
Oh, man.
incredible.
That,
That made me even more confused if he knew who she was or not. And I was just
yeah, it's like, are you teasing her?
what are you doing?
What kind of a jab was that, dude?
Oh, you don't want to fuck me? Well, maybe I might run you over again, bitch. Like, oh God,
Yeah, as opposed to.
Yeah, that.
that was the best.
I'd love
that
to
was a
read the
great
script
scene.
of this movie.
Yeah.
I would love to read
I
the
think it was
script.
just written on the day because it seemed like so much improv.
yeah.
Hence
Yeah,
why
yeah.
everyone's talking over each other
Yeah,
so
you,
much.
you couldn't write a lot of those scenes because it's just people screaming
Yeah.
and yelling at each other.
And there's a
Yeah.
whole lot of missing the yes and part. Like people just like arguing like, wait, no, we have to get this scene done.
Yeah, yeah. Okay,
So
so
what happens after that? Then they meet the Renfield character.
he goes. Yeah, he
Right?
goes to the house of the guy that was his partner, right?
Yeah,
He's-
well,
he's
he
walking
finds the
down the
Renfield
street.
guy, and he offers him a job, and he's like, "Fuck you," and he goes, "Well, Khalil will be interested to hear that." So then he's like, "Oh, now I got your interest."
Yeah, and then he
convinces
eats.
him to go with him somehow.
Basically, he says you can have revenge against the guy, you know, because I think he was originally saying this was a job to help him get revenge against Khalil. And so he's like, okay, maybe, and there's a payday in it, but I'm trying not to get back into that. But then he goes and romances the girl again,
Right.
and she's now more receptive. He's helping her with a wheelchair until he basically offers her money, and then she says, fuck off? Or was that later?
that happens after he meets with Khalil.
That's after, okay.
That's it. Yeah, because we skipped over the fact that he meets with the Renfield. What is the Renfield guy's name?
I forget. It was
remember.
like
We'll call him
Ray. I think it
Renfield.
was
It's
Ray.
fine.
Yeah,
I think it
'cause
was Ray.
he's been-
Ray, yeah.
Ray.
'cause-
Okay, he's revealed to it because he eats a fly off of his shirt,
yeah.
Mhm.
and well, like you said,
Oh
Pat,
yeah. An actual
the guy
good
like
joke
was
in
just
the
like,
movie.
"That's some Renfield shit right there." Remember
Yeah, he,
that?
like-
The guy
I had
says
said that,
it.
but then the joke.
Well, the good joke in that scene was he goes, "Man, there's a McDonald's right down the
This is
street."
my time.
Like that was actually fucking hilarious.
Yeah, that was pretty
Yeah.
good.
I think there were legitimate good jokes through the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No, they knew what they were doing, but it's
Mhm.
still like
yeah.
just kinda
I
like,
can't
what
hate
is
this
happening?
movie at all.
No,
like,
no.
I
would
can't
watch
hate
it,
it.
And
Yeah.
I
It
would
was
show
fun. It
this
was
to
just-
somebody and being
yeah.
like, "Get ready."
It has its problems.
It totally does, but it's
very
lovable.
entertaining.
It's
Yeah.
lovable
It's
in a weird
charming.
way. Yeah. Okay, so he meets with
Khalil beats him
Khalil,
up
right?
some,
Mhm.
and like is like, now you're gonna do this job.
because
for
Khalil
me."
at this point is a vampire.
yeah, he's
Yeah,
a
Khalil's
vampire.
The hooker
He's
turned
got
him
a
into
really
a
nice
vampire.
sweater, and he's
Yeah.
a vampire.
Yeah, he's like
He
very
Cosby sweater. He
Abercrombie.
literally turns into a Cosby sweater guy. Yeah.
It's awesome.
He went from cockroach to Theo.
As one does.
So-
Yeah, and his lair is basically the same apartment,
An
but with
empty
like
row house
with purple gels all over all the
Yeah.
lights.
and trash bags
Yes.
Mhm.
taped to the windows, only at the top, which will come in later.
Which is common on an independent film set, but usually
Not on
shot
screen.
towards.
If you know that sunlight will kill you and all your kind, I think you may put tape around the entirety of the bag.
Yeah, especially if you've worked on enough film sets, you realize that shit comes down on its own.
Yeah.
Yeah. Come
Okay.
on.
All right, and
So-
this is where we find out that he's a vampire, and we get the rules that we
Yeah,
already
he
discussed.
lays the rules out, which are pretty
Yeah.
much movie rules for vampires.
Right.
They weren't trying to invent the wheel here.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
And the whole time Renfield or Ray is dabbing.
Oh, man.
The hand. This
Covered in
hand
like
is
king
all over
syrup or
this movie.
something.
Yeah, he's just dabbing it in
It was ketchup.
Blood.
Was it ketchup?
blood,
I mean, it
ketchup,
was
whatever. He was
not
I thought it was barbecue sauce. Like it had a brown consistency to
Okay.
it. Yeah.
could be.
the lighting was weird. In that
Yeah,
scene.
but you could tell like the end of the scene when he's just smacking
He's
like,
the
I don't even
hand
know
into
if
the
I'm on
plate of
camera.
sauce. Yeah, and he's fake eating it the whole time.
Yeah.
Like his mouth is getting close, and he's going. He's not doing anything. All right,
it was awesome.
yeah.
That hand, but that hand shows up like 2 or 3 more
Three more
times.
times.
At
in the
least.
movie.
It's
It-
like
yes.
in every other scene after.
It plays
Hey.
another hand in another scene.
It does. It
Not
does.
just being the hand that's being eaten throughout the whole movie.
Yeah, it's a
also
guy's
plays
hand. Yeah.
Another guy's hand.
So the plot is that Kaleem wants it wasn't the Jakeem, sorry.
Jaleel White.
Jaleel White is in
Stars.
this.
Mazel,
Yeah.
Austin Pepper.
Yeah. He wants him to
Steal an amulet.
Steal an amulet, and he'll pay him a lot of money so that he can use the money to help the girl in the wheelchair.
Yes.
Right.
Right?
And as
I
he
got that
points
right.
out,
Okay.
so you want me to steal an amulet so that I can get the money you already owe me, but this is a bigger payday. Oh, you should trust me this time.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Ugh.
So, and this is also to sort of make up for the fact that he was the one who ratted him out and had him sent to jail.
Did he?
That's where we're
For-
all fuzzy, right? 'Cause-
But that's
Yeah.
what he said was that, he was ratted out on. His partner ratted him out, and that's why he spent 7 years in jail.
But he
And
died in
seven.
a car and became a vampire with the jewels. He was
Right.
yeah, but he
bleeding
can
on the
still
street.
litigate and stuff. I
But-
mean, he's
but
What, did he go back
he
and plant the
died,
jewels
he
on him? After he
disappeared.
died and became a vampire, he went back there and they still hadn't been found. Stuffed them full of the jewels.
You mean the
and
jewels
then,
that he
like,
also-
wrote a note? Like, what are you talking about?
Also, these are the same jewels that he sold to buy the house that
yeah,
he's living
he's
in.
standing in. Like, none of it made any
So
sense.
the jewels just did a lot of things.
yeah, which weren't paper, by the
No,
way.
No.
Never was there
Never
any
Never-
paper.
Never any paper in this whole movie.
Right. Okay.
So now you're wondering, why did he go to jail then?
Yeah.
We'll keep coming back to that.
Why? All right.
It's,
So-
we know it's not because he ran over the girl.
No.
We know it's not.
We know it's
Unless he just confessed to everything as soon as he woke up. That's your own
But
fault.
he got ratted out. They said that.
He would
He
need
did say
extensive.
you're right.
Probably he needed to be in the hospital for a while, right?
Yeah, because the police showed up on the scene.
Yeah.
And he heard the sirens coming because when
Nobody
Somebody-
questioned the two of them and said, "Have you seen this woman? Like, have you seen this man?" Because they were together.
They were together on the side
A
of the
crime
road.
scene just doesn't just dissipate like that.
right, and I mean, well, first off, who called the cops?
Right? They should have. He probably should have bled to death
Yeah,
because she couldn't
Nobody-
move.
But
so
the cops were on the way when she got hit by the car
in the woods.
in the
In the
woods.
woods. What?
And
woods?
then, well, we know that he didn't go to jail for the hit and run because he was laying on the ground without a car, and he didn't just run into her physically
Yeah.
and like break her.
And
And how
also,
come? Why didn't he tell the
there would
cops?
have been a court trial where she was like, "This man hit me with a car," and then argued with his friend about leaving me there.
And
Like,
then his-
"But I don't know who you are, math class.
It's like,
Come
And
on.
wouldn't he
there
have
was
fingered
no
the
car
guy
at
that
the
shot
scene,
him?
ma'am?
Wouldn't he have
If
fingered that guy that shot him? Wouldn't he have said, "Hey, I didn't do this. This guy has your jewels."
Clearly, this man ran over this woman and then she shot him.
And now we're not going to listen to anything he
Yeah,
says
we're
because
gonna
he's
make sure
obviously a liar.
Well, a good lawyer could point out, yeah, ran her over, not drove her over. It was a hit and run.
Right.
God.
Good Lord. Yeah.
So we don't know at this point yet why he went to jail.
Yeah. Do we ever know?
no.
No. Spoiler.
It's you just accept that he went to jail for 7 years.
Garbage.
You know what? Not to get political, he is black. I don't know if you
I
know
mean,
I'm
this.
glad you said it.
Yeah.
God damn it.
There
It's
is
no problem. It's a legit problem.
This
and that's
is something that goes on a lot in society, and quite frankly, I think they would have been perfectly justified to throw that in
Well,
the movie.
clearly, Johnson, he steamrolled at her just on foot. They're fast. He went right into her. buried his shoulder right into the base of her spine, separating that. And then he fell on the ground because it was such an impact, and he shot himself with his own gun. That I just threw.
That's
next
the
to him.
scene they wrote.
Yeah.
That's the scene
They
they
pulled a
wrote.
total Plaxico.
Yeah. They wrote that scene, but they couldn't find any like white actors to like be the cops to do that.
They had already
scene.
killed
I
Baby
am
Man.
saying
Yeah.
that.
Right.
God.
Yeah.
Where were we?
So okay, now that we've addressed that he went to jail
Yeah,
for
for no reason at
deep
all.
political satire and commentary. Yeah, he has to break into the. I don't know what that place is.
It was the compound for the vampire.
which was a
Vampire
row
hunters,
home. It was
which
a
was
row
another
home.
row home.
It was a row home.
Yeah.
It was a compound with guards and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they knew there was going to be one guard inside, then two right behind the door who weren't right behind the door. They were up like
2
3 flights of
Stairs. Yeah. Jesus.
But that was all right. So they go up to like get in.
That's another camera work moment right there. That's
He's,
oh man.
he's like, well, you create a distraction. I'll hit him in the head with this club. No guns.
Which
Doesn't
is-
hit him in the head with the club. The guy's like, y'all are being real sketchy. Goes over the microphone and says, I got a problem out here. I need assistance. Then he gets shot by the other guy.
So the
So
people that
they're-
are less
they're
than
being
100 feet
alerted.
away, you're gonna hear a gunshot, and we're warned with their own internal like radio system
Yeah.
that something's wrong.
Then they go up a couple flights, argue over a bunch of shit.
But
They-
it's not even voluntary going up because the guy
Yeah,
who
he's
pulled the
holding the-
gun says, no, you're doing this gig, and so takes his partner hostage and forces him into the thing.
Yeah, and
Right.
they're walking slow. He's not wanting to do it. It took forever, and they've
Yeah.
already been alerted.
They've
But
already been
then-
alerted, and then a arrow shoots out.
Oh
Mr.
my
Wall
God, the arrow!
Because
Another fucking
defenses
arrow.
against the vampires.
And right, because there's a line where they say the place was built to defend against vampires, not humans, which I would
Yeah.
think humans are less physically adept than vampires, so it should
Right.
kill humans easier, right?
But that's why they put That's why they put a single arrow trip to go off when you're a couple steps ahead of it.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, they don't even show them be like, where'd that arrow come from? And show where it was just an
No, because they're in a
arrow.
hallway that's like only like what 5 feet wide.
If that.
Yeah, like they're like, where did it come from? But you could easily look at the wall and see where the exit point of this arrow was.
So
I
they-
mean, trying to figure it.
yeah, they get
come
to
on.
the 3rd floor. They go into what is a kitchenette with no appliances in it,
Well,
but a safe on the
and a
on
bomb.
the shelf, and a bomb attached to the safe.
Right.
So
Attached to an egg timer.
with a printer cable as a connector to connect a egg
No.
timer to a safe.
The printer cable was like taped to the egg timer.
Oh,
with
yeah,
it.
it
it
wasn't
was,
even actually
It wasn't
attached.
even
You could-
plugged into
You
anything.
can see all
Yeah.
16 pins
They
in their
used the
shiny
parallel
glory.
port perpendicular.
Yeah, it's just laying there. Okay. Yeah,
So-
and they show us that thing like in like 30 shots. We
Oh,
see so many
it's
shots
an
of this egg
important prop.
timer.
We did
Yeah.
forget something. On the way up the stairs, another guy shows up, shoots at them, and Ray kills him, but he shoots the gun next to Jakeem's head twice, and he's deaf now.
So he's got to crack the safe.
Oh my
Yeah.
God, that's so important.
So he has to
Yeah.
crack
Yeah.
the safe while being deaf, which the next 2 scenes are so weird
And
it's like-
amazing. Oh my God.
So
Yeah.
they get to the
I
kitchen.
kind of fell in love with the movie because of this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They get to the kitchenette with the safe on the countertop and the egg timer bomb and all this dumb crap. He starts cracking it. The other guy's like, I'm gonna go make sure everything's cool. They've been warned. There's been multiple gunshots
they know
in the
it's
building
not
and
okay.
outside. A guy walks in and goes, "Hey man, stop cracking that safe. Get up away from that
He's
safe."
behind him too.
He's behind
He's
him.
behind
And
Yeah.
him.
So he's
and the
deaf
guy's
and he
not
can't hear
responding
him.
at
Yeah,
all.
yeah.
He's deaf.
So he takes like warning shots at the side of the
Yeah.
guy's head.
He shoots twice, and the guy doesn't even blink.
And then Ray kills him. And then a 3rd guy walks out, still without a gun drawn. He walks out and goes, "What the fuck is this shit?" I'm like, yeah, come on! Is everyone deaf?
Do you all have your radios on different channels? So that
Yeah, but
Like,
there's
is
been
it
a
like-
gunshot in the room that the guy was basically
3!
in.
He
Yeah.
fired twice, and then 10 seconds later, another shot happened. It's been
So-
like 40 seconds. And
Now-
he's like, what the fuck is this?
so they get into a gunfight
Yeah.
while in the middle
He's just
he's
cracking
cracking
the
the
safe.
safe and has no idea that's going on.
Yeah, which is kind of
And
awesome.
By
but
the corner of your eye, you would see the one guy shooting.
yeah.
You would feel yeah,
like the wall,
sound impact.
like that guy had to shoot the walls above him, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you would
Yeah.
see some type of like masonry or
debris.
something.
Anyway,
it doesn't
he
matter. All the
doesn't know.
muzzle flashes are added in post, and they look amazing. Let's say that. Yeah.
So he has no idea this is going on until Ray pulls a gun out of his ass, covered in poop,
Oh yeah, it's a
hands it
backup
to
gun.
him,
Yeah.
and
he-
is like, "You need to start killing people." And so he
And-
shoots the guy in the leg, and then Ray kills the other guy,
Yeah,
whose
and-
head bleeds from off screen. Which
Yeah.
It
Oh
shows-
yeah, the blood runs towards his
Yeah,
head.
it's a shot of his head on screen, and the blood comes from the other side of the screen. Yeah,
at it.
At it. Yeah,
And to back up to cover, like the gun was in the back of the guy's pants.
Yeah.
And they did address. He shat himself during the gunfights and then handed him the gun.
yeah. There was dried poop.
No,
on the
it was
gun.
wet.
It was still wet?
It was fresh poop.
Oh
He
shit! I thought-
basically said like, "Oh, you couldn't have given me the gun before diarrhea time." Like he shot himself during the gunfight and then handed him the gun. That's funny.
That's pretty good.
That's fucking funny.
Yeah, that's pretty funny.
So they get the amulet. Then
Oh
one
man,
other amazing scene happens.
maybe the best scene in the movie. I don't know.
So he. Jakeem's
I'm starting to
got-
really like this movie in retrospect.
Jakeem has Ray at gunpoint, takes him back to Khalil. Khalil's like, "Did everything go okay?" Jakeem
like,
is deaf,
"Yeah, I'm
doesn't
here
bother
with
telling
Ray."
him. He's like, "What are you saying?" What did he say?
He's like, "Yeah, I'm here with Ray." And
Yeah.
I was like, "Did you get the amulet?" It's like,
I am handling it.
I'm handling
Yeah.
it.
Look.
You're basically doing like a street tough vaudeville routine.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They're all
like who's on
wild.
first? Yeah, it was
And then
like,
he finally goes, I'm deaf right now. So you're gonna, and the hearing's just coming back, so you gotta scream.
yeah.
And then they do it again.
I'm
with
surprised they
another
didn't make a
conversation.
deaf joke. You just felt like it was. I was like ready for it. And it didn't happen.
It was a
I'll get-
little past the Russell Simmons days. for
That's what
that.
I'm saying.
Yeah.
But I'm glad they didn't. I'm
Yeah. But-
applauding it that they didn't go deaf. Yeah.
Like it would have been just that scene could have taken 10 seconds. And we're like, oh, here's
No,
your,
but they
here's
spent
your
3
piece
minutes
of
and
shit.
it kept getting better.
It was like,
Where's the
Ray?
amulet? I handle this. Where's the amulet?
just hand me the amulet. I am handling it. Better have my money. It's right here. Just give me the amulet first. I'm taking care of it. Like it was so crazy.
And the Ray, like the two of them are stone faced to the point where like they were selling it so real that you're like, do they know what they're doing? And then you see Ray just holding it back.
Yeah.
Like he was
He's
so
ready, to pop.
burst.
Yeah.
And
Jesus.
That scene was insanity.
yeah, and then his hearing gets because
No, it's still bad because he gives him the money
Yeah,
and
he
then he gives him
money.
the amulet and then he puts the amulet on and explains how now he's not only not a human or a vampire.
He's something
like
beyond.
He's something beyond
says
it.
beyond.
And the
Yeah.
guy,
Yeah.
Jakeem can't hear him, so he's like, "Oh, you're a human now? Yeah, this is what's up. I'm gonna fuck you up," and like shoots him, and nothing happens. He's just like,
really?
"Huh?"
You really don't hear what I'm. Oh, God.
Yeah, he's like, "This motherfucker's stupid."
I'm a god now. What are
Yeah.
you doing? Yeah.
God.
But then
He yoinks
the way that
amulet.
it's like
oh yeah, he goes to
Charges
charges,
him.
charges at him, and Jakeem just
Just
like
yanks
pulls
it off his neck.
Yeah, he does a yoink and bolts down the stairs.
It is a
gets out
yoink
of the
because
house.
he does the kind of cartoon like, like where
Yeah.
is it? Oh.
Yeah.
Hey, and then
was silly.
as they're going through the living room, he pulls down the plastic bags so that and makes his escape.
Because there's
That's-
two women lackey
Yeah.
vampires that
Yeah.
work for
For
him,
him.
which we never saw beforehand.
Again,
They
yeah,
live in
no,
the
you see
apartment
them
building.
later,
Yeah.
No, one of them was the beginning vampire.
Okay.
No, those were the two earlier established ones. I
Okay.
think
Wait, so he became her
maybe-
boss after she bit him?
No,
Really?
Maybe it wasn't them because that was 8 years ago.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Never
these are
mind.
just new
It
vampires.
might
They were
just
just
mean- all right.
it went-
He should have had more.
yeah, he should have been killing more people to get more lackeys.
Yes.
And the
In
first
8
two
years,
vampire
man.
ladies, they were short scenes and not well lit. So
Yeah, it was hard to tell.
It's
Yeah.
hard to tell what's going on. So he gets away with the amulet,
Yes.
right?
Yeah, he gets away with the amulet, not the
Yeah.
money. He leaves the money, gets the amulet, and then we get introduced to the
the vampire hunter group,
Really late in the movie.
Yeah.
Really late in the movie.
like excessively late.
Yeah.
So they
Like we thought that scene was gonna be the end.
I
when
thought
he
it was the
burning.
climax of the movie.
Nope, we have a whole nother act.
Yeah. Yeah, and they're protecting the amulet, right?
So that no vampire ever gets it and becomes super powerful. And the main guy asks, like,
why
don't you get rid of it? Like, why don't you destroy it? If
he has
its
an
only
audience question.
purpose-
It's to make bad things worse.
Yeah.
Just
Like-
get rid of it.
There's things you could do, like dump it in the ocean, like Rose.
Don't
go
keep
for
it in the
Put it in
city.
a capsule, fire it into space. It's
Yeah.
gone.
Yeah, which they might not.
Then
have
they're
those
gonna be
resources,
fucking like
but yeah.
space vampire guy comes from outer space and kills all of us because he's unstoppable.
That's
Bam.
Vampires too.
No, we've got a lead on that already.
Yeah,
so.
yeah.
So they interrogate the guy to try and find out what he knows, and he's not giving up his arch nemesis.
Yeah, I didn't understand that scene.
Yeah.
All he had to do was
He's-
like, I don't work for him.
Yeah.
He hired me. He blackmailed me, and I don't like him. Go kill him.
Yeah. And
My whole
they-
life has been ruined by him. Yeah,
Yeah.
kill him, please.
And I guess in a twist on the snitches get stitches thing, because he's not snitching, he's about to get stitches because they have the baseball interrogation.
Yeah.
They basically
Which-
have him hooked
Yeah.
to a chair, although he's just handcuffed and the chair is there.
Yeah.
He's not hooked to it.
Yeah, his arms. Yeah.
And
Excusing all production problems.
Right.
Yeah, the ideas were there.
Yeah, basically the one guy is going to give him 3 strikes, and he's got 3 baseballs, and he's going to whip the baseballs at the guy.
To
And-
take his ears off, he said.
Yeah, he's going
Yeah,
to
I
aim
did-
for the ears and try and fuck him up, like aim
yeah,
for the
which
head.
is weird because he's aiming forward to the guy's head, not like to take somebody's ear off or damage it with a baseball. You'd have to hit them,
At the
from the
side.
side of your
I
head.
don't know that he was
I
legitimately
think
thinking
they're
he
gonna
could
do
pull
that.
I
off,
think he was
but-
assuming he was going to hit him in the face.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think he was just trying to intimidate the guy.
Yeah.
But the thing
I mean,
is,
I would go for body shots personally, but hey.
Yeah, and any of it would have worked, and any of that could have been it could have been in like a Bourne Identity or Bond film or something like that. It could have been an awesome interrogation scene. Great idea, didn't pull it off, but
The
I
idea
didn't
were there. It
understand
was
it because
cool.
he
It was
threw
cool.
the first one. It looked like he dodged it,
Yeah.
and they were like, "Oh yeah, he's brave. Yeah, okay." And he threw the second one, and he missed again. But they were happy about it. They were all like, "Yeah, motherfucker, you see that?"
Yeah.
I was like, "You didn't
we are
hit him.
ineffective.
He's fine. This is the worst interrogation I've ever seen." I
like
wouldn't
if-
give up information. I'm a pussy.
Come
Come
on.
on.
You have some Nazi dentist threatening to pull your teeth out, and he keeps knocking over the tray of tools.
Yeah.
You're like, okay, maybe he's not going to pull this off. I think it's safe.
Come on. And then, all right. Ugh.
Then it's interrupted by
woman.
The woman who's like, enough of this silliness,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
Give me the ball. This is
We've
boy
gotta
shit.
let
Because
him
he
go
does
with
this a
it.
lot. He does it enough that she's like, well, it's time to give me the baseball. Like,
Like
She
she's
reveals
his mom.
herself as that pocket's leader,
Mother.
because they apparently have a corporate sponsor.
I guess.
did they? That I missed
That
that.
was they're because that's one of the reasons they didn't want to get sued later. They also mentioned
Yeah,
we've
it's
got to
like-
let him go. We they're not just operating on their own out of this house.
Right.
Yeah,
there was
they
talk about
intimate
suing.
that they were sued by Van Helsing. Like they held him and finished a job that he couldn't, I guess.
So they
Yeah.
killed Dracula.
Like Van Helsing showed up in Brooklyn. We fucking did it for him.
Mhm.
And he sued
sued
us.
us.
What a dick.
Van Helsing sued us.
Yeah, because at the end we find out they've got business cards. Like they are they professionally hunt out nests of vampires and stuff like that. So anyway, they let him go because they can't legally hold him.
Hold
Yeah,
him.
I did not even understand. The next scene happened. I was like, why did they let him go? Why
They,
did
they all look like they hated it. Like
Yeah, they
hated
were not
letting him
happy
go.
about
Yeah,
it.
like, we don't want this.
just kill him. You were gonna beat him up with baseballs.
Yeah.
What do you care?
Is torture legal? Cause
Yeah.
no.
You can't sue you for that. Yeah, these people kidnap me, rob me, and torture me, and then let me go.
Maybe that's why
I'd like
they
to sue them.
maybe that's why they missed twice, is because they knew they couldn't hit him.
God,
I don't know.
I think we're reading way too far.
Yeah,
into
probably
this.
more than they thought about it.
So
Yeah.
while all this is going on, the vampires, or the vampire the Renfield kidnaps
The
The
crippled
we-
lady.
The crippled lady, yeah.
who they call the Matchbox bitch.
The
Yeah.
Matchbox. Oh, yeah.
That's these are the bad guys.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so,
they're bad.
It's not
Yeah.
us saying it. Yeah.
I didn't do it.
I didn't do it.
Yeah.
Okay.
But that's where they go. And they're interrogating her to find out where this guy is, and he's been kidnapped too, so he doesn't.
And she doesn't
actually know.
But as far as
she
we know,
doesn't spend any time with him.
Yeah, she doesn't have any reason to really protect some strange guy.
The
that
last time they
talking to her.
talked, she told him to leave her alone.
Yeah, he was harassing her almost
he was
on the
trying
street.
to pay her money for being crippled, and she was like, "Fuck you, ass! I'm out of here."
Yeah, so they have not had time to fall in love or had a moment or anything really.
Right.
Yeah.
They,
So
they went to high school together.
It was again another interrogation scene where the person was denying the information for a reason you couldn't fathom, because she kept going.
Yeah.
But in this one, she was just like, I don't know who you're talking. I don't know.
I got nothing.
I don't know who. I actually don't know who you're talking about.
Yeah, like legitimately.
He's some guy, okay?
She had the same amnesia that just kind of popped up, but then the vampire lets her know, like, I know you know him. You know how I know you know him is I was in the car with him when he ran you over. And she, the what?
Yeah, I guess she kind of just goes,
Yeah.
No, because at that point, that's when you said, Matt, shouldn't she be
like
thrown off right now? Like she's completely fine.
Yeah,
Like, she was just like, oh, really?
information.
It's like your life. Man, this is confusing.
Oh,
So
I
this
did.
is
We
where
got-
she,
We forgot to mention earlier where Khalil tells, because of the ambiguity of us not knowing if Jakeem recognized her or not.
Right, yeah.
Khalil tells him straight up earlier. He's like, "That's that girl you ran over. I'll give you all this money so you can, make her life better since she's crippled." And he doesn't respond.
Yeah.
So you still don't know if he knew she was the first
Yeah, we
time
don't
he
have
met.
any clue where anyone's bearing is.
Everyone's just got weird memory issues.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
all
I've
that-
seen you in the
'cause
last
Khalil-
10 minutes. I don't know.
Because, I mean, he forgot how to ride a bike.
Yeah.
That, I
Forgot
I've been
about
checking my
that.
notes. Yeah. When he gets kidnapped by the vampire hunters, before he does,
I wrote
there's
down bike on my notes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
there's a chase scene, and he runs up to a guy on a bike, threatens him, grabs the bike from him, gets on it, and tries to pedal it, can't figure it out, picks it up and just throws it. And
Throws
starts
it at
running
the guy. He's only like 5 feet from where
The guy's
he's
still
already
running after him.
on the sidewalk, staring at all of it happening too. Like,
So it's like, what the
Really?
fuck?
at least steal it. At least do it. What are you doing?
God.
That was fucking
That was
hilarious.
Yeah, that was pretty funny. It goes on for like too many cuts too, which just makes it even funnier almost. Yeah. And so he's trying to evade the hunters at that point, right? With the bike.
No, we're past that.
we're
Where are we?
past that.
We're past
Yeah.
that. We're at
So
God,
now he
it's-
realizes.
It's so hard to keep track of where it is.
So he sees the Renfield who
Yeah.
says, "Oh, by the way,
got your girl.
They got your girl. So bring us the amulet, and
Yeah.
you can have her back."
And then the vampire hunters kill him. Kill
Yeah,
Renfield.
yeah,
shoot him like sniper
Because they used him
style.
as bait. That's why they let him go, is to use him as bait so
Oh,
they
to
could
get-
find out where the nest was.
right.
And so yeah, they kill Ray.
How does killing him in the streets by the
Yeah.
girl's house let them know where the nest is?
Oh, they just wanted to kill him.
I'm just. Hey, it's more things that they said that didn't matter because none of it lines up. It's fine.
Right. So now they know where the nest is, even though they could have just asked.
Yeah.
I
Jakeem
know they
knows
did ask.
exactly
They
where
did
it is.
ask a lot,
yeah.
and it was an interrogation.
Yeah.
So-
Okay.
So then
So they partner up,
Yeah.
Oh Jesus.
and they have such a long sequence of packing and preparing all of their
Yes,
guns,
so
loading
many.
clips, pulling out
It-
Uzis and handgun, and putting them in their pockets and putting them in their sleeves.
It's
and
like almost
putting
the
them in their
joke is
holsters.
being overwrought with how many scenes they show of like just
Yeah,
them
just
packing and
over and
loading
over again.
and bullets going in.
But
and
it
just,
ends with him going, I think this is gonna, what do you call it? His parole.
Oh, is this going
Is
to
this gonna-
violate my parole?
Yeah, is this gonna violate my parole?
that's
and then
what
the
you're
guy's
worried
like, I
about.
don't give a shit. And it's
Yeah.
like,
And
I don't know. That scene was weird. It went on for too long, and then it ended on this like really stupid thing, where it's like you're probably gonna die right now. That guy
Yeah.
just threatened
Yeah.
to kill you before they started loading their guns. What are
Yeah.
you concerned
Yeah.
about parole?
Yeah.
So, like, say 3-4 minutes worth of loading guns, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
The movie is called Vampiyaz. They're going up against vampires. We have established the rules of vampires in the film. They have loaded themselves up with nothing but a weapon that won't work.
Hey, they're wearing crosses.
They were wearing crosses.
They were wearing crosses, but there was the gun concentration in that montage was the heaviest thing.
Yeah. Well, that's all
They
they
were
had.
And they didn't say they were
with
silver bullets or
They didn't have
anything
any
mystical.
No stakes.
They
They
were
clearly
just-
weren't silver bullets
just
because,
guns.
well, guess what? All of those guns did not help.
Yeah,
No.
they really did.
But
do
they
anything.
did. I think they did kill vampires.
I think
though,
they did.
because
Yeah, like
they
there's
show-
some confusion about what happened.
Yeah, they show 2 vampire hunters shoot 2 vampires, and you
And
never
don't-
see those vampires again.
again.
I think if you're wearing a cross, you're a weapon of
God.
and you
Yeah,
can kill
yeah.
them. Maybe that's really what this movie kind of said, because one cross on one person allowed them to kill them with guns, but not to get murdered. Still get murdered. They still died. But then when he put on all the crosses, he was like, "Man, that's a lot of cross." You remember he said something like
but
that.
he
He's
was
like,
just giving them
"Wow,
a
those
well,
crosses."
That's a big. That's,
All right,
that's coming
sorry,
right
Yeah,
there. That's-
yeah. Hold on. Yeah. Well,
Because
I
we've
mean,
got an important scene before that.
which. Oh, right. Yeah.
Yeah. So all of
there-
the vampire hunters pretty much get
This is
wiped
the
out.
siege. The siege is like kind of at the end where it's only the main characters left.
Right.
Right. I mean, all the vampire hunters are dead that work for the
they
that work
got
for the dark government company,
Or
whatever. That is. Yeah. Yeah. And
yeah, they're all wiped out, and so our hero finds a room with the girl that he's trying to save, with a bomb under her wheelchair wired to a safe.
that's attached.
Why people are wiring bombs
to
to
safes.
It's a thing though, and there's apparently a way that you can open a safe that disarms
It's
the
a bomb.
bomb.
Yeah.
And how it's connected is that there's a watch sitting on top of the safe with a wire running to the bomb under her chair.
Right,
Which is
it doesn't
weird.
look like it's
Yeah.
actually run to the safe itself.
I don't know
So
what.
I don't
It's
know
just
how
connected to
opening the
what.
safe
The
would
safe,
have
yeah.
stopped. He could have just stopped the watch. Could have made it. Oh, I got this.
Maybe I should just do this first.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's working, and she's save me,
Yelling.
don't let me die. Now, he's in the room with a bomb.
Yeah, I like that.
Well,
She was
yeah,
like
like-
saying, "How can you do this to me?" And he's like, "I'm here.
I'm
standing-
doing.
I'm
I'm
like a
fixing
foot and a
this.
half
You're
from you.
distracting me from saving you right
There's
now."
a good
Yeah.
chance I could have hit traffic and missed this whole endeavor.
Yeah.
Like, so yeah, there's like a minute left on the thing, and they're yelling, and
When
he's
there's-
telling her to shut up so he can concentrate, and then she reveals that she knows.
At 9 seconds, she goes, "You owe this
This
to
to me."
And
Yeah.
he goes, "What does that mean?" She doesn't. Or she says, "What did she say?" She says,
says-
"I know you're the one who hit me with the car," or something like that, right?
Mhm.
And then explodes.
You see
way
it go
long.
to zero.
It's
And
like a
then-
shot of the lower half of the wheelchair, and it goes straight
Just
up.
It
Lifts
just
off
looks
the
like
ground.
somebody, like two guys on chairs on the either side,
Just lifted it.
yanked it out of the frame as somebody had a fog machine under it. So you saw
Whoosh.
it swooped up.
And then it cuts right to a shot of a giant splatter of blood on the wall. Like it was weird. Like
It was
Yeah.
beautiful.
And
Yeah,
not
it's
like a
pretty
bomb
great.
blew up somebody's splatter. Like somebody had a decent bucket's worth and just,
Just threw it at the wall.
Yeah,
Yeah.
heaved it.
So she's
so
dead.
bad. So she
Yeah,
died.
she
That
dies.
woman's
She's
life
dead.
There's
was
this completely ruined by these two other guys.
and she didn't even know who they were. She had no idea who they were.
You meet one asshole in one math
Yeah,
class.
yeah, seriously.
And
I
he's
knew I
gonna
should have dropped
fuck
that
your
out of high
shit up.
school.
God damn, her life is just crap.
But you're sitting there being like, "Oh, I'm in the room with her." He's fine. The room is fine.
It's
Just
literally
her.
just enough bomb to blow up the
To
girl in the
lift
wheelchair.
and explode her body. Like
You,
lifted
like,
her off the
Google-
ground and then blew her into a
How
blood
much
mist.
dynamite would it
It's like,
take to vaporize a crippled woman?
keep surrounding safe.
Yeah.
Yeah, like-
I live in a small. He's on a farm. I live in a small row home.
I don't
in
want
Brooklyn.
the neighbors to complain. I just want to murder with a bomb.
I need to demolition a woman in a wheelchair.
It's a controlled implosion.
Yeah.
They do that.
And it's a weird, like from a tone standpoint, it's a weird death too. Because like, should we care? Because were they in love? Was that?
I don't know.
well, she's completely innocent, and we should care. But they did
made
basically
her like a
turn her
jerk.
into really mean. At that last scene, she's just screaming unfairly. I mean, fairly that yes, he put her in that
Yeah,
wheelchair, and I guess he
She has the
technically
right
got
to
her out of it,
complain.
but-
Let's say that.
I mean, yeah. She definitely has the right to complain.
yeah.
But then, but she does like, how can you do this to me? No, he's helping.
Just put
Back up
that
a little.
table
Let's back
that
up a
until
little.
we're not in a room that's gonna explode,
Yeah.
and then we can address this.
It was like a MacGruber skit.
Yeah.
It honestly
really
was a
was.
MacGruber skit. Like, no, we need to talk about this now. Really? Yeah. Yeah. So she's dead.
Man,
She's dead.
explodes.
Yeah, she explodes. So all's left is the two main guys.
Yeah.
Really, right?
Yeah.
Ray is dead at this point.
Ray's
Yeah,
dead.
Everybody's
the
dead.
vampire's
Everybody's dead. Yeah.
Everybody's
She's
dead.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, they have the fight. They're rolling around, but he's got crucifixes. He grabbed all the weapons off
Yeah.
of everybody. And
Yeah,
he
he's just covered in
himself in crucifixes.
Yeah.
And then he basically goes in and starts fighting him and basically tries to bear hug him until he starts cooking.
Which
he's like they're wrestling around.
Oh,
and it's
yeah,
burning
yeah,
him.
yeah.
and at this
Burning
point,
him
like I
slowly,
said to you
yeah.
guys while watching the movie, I was very unclear on where the amulet was.
Yeah,
At
who
all.
had
Like,
it?
He
who-
had it, but yeah.
But
he
wait, I
had
didn't
it.
know that. I thought that the vampire hunters should have kept it at their base. Like in,
He
in
never
a-
gave
I
it back.
seriously, I almost
He never
explained
gave
this
it back.
while we were
Okay.
watching. I thought that they took the amulet from Jakeem, put it in their safe, and then on their way to get them, the vampires stole their safe, brought it there, and put the bomb on it. Because I didn't know, and I was like, "Why is he opening a safe? Why does he want him to open a safe?"
Dude, that
in a
would have
certain
been
amount of time?
genius.
Yeah,
Maybe
it
that
would have
would've
made a little
been
bit more
genius.
sense. It would have made more sense.
Like they're like he was
why there was
forcing
a
him to
bomb
open-
attached
yeah.
to a fucking safe.
Yeah, like he was making him open
again.
the safe so he wouldn't kill her, so he could get to the amulet. That would have made a lot of sense.
But no, that didn't happen.
Maybe it did.
Yeah, no.
Maybe
it's
they
not
edited it
specific-
out.
Not. Maybe he grabbed after she blew up. He finished the safe,
Yeah,
got
like-
the amulet.
While she's exploding, pulls it out. Oh my god.
Well, anyway, during the fight with the two of them, he takes it just out of his pocket. It's just in his pocket.
Yeah, he's like, "Give me the
Yeah.
ammo." He's like,
Like, oh,
"Fine."
oh,
and he
here it
throws
is.
it at
Yeah.
him.
Fine.
Yeah,
Like,
maybe-
all this.
Maybe all this wasn't worth it.
And
Sorry.
it does seem a little bit odd, but the vampire seems like, okay, you know what? I won. Ha 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 ho ho. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Because he had glued a crucifix to the back of the amulet.
Yeah.
I-
Which still to
but
me,
yeah.
it wouldn't matter
It'll
because
work.
the amulet makes you.
The crucifix was closer, so that was doing the bulk of the work.
So if he flipped it over, would he have been invincible?
Possibly, but
I
by
thought
that,
the act. I thought it's like
by
the
that
angel
point,
ring,
he was
right?
distracted, and that's when the windows started getting
Well,
opened.
yeah, but I don't know.
I thought it was
I
like
think it's a fake.
the
amulet
act
with a
of
crucifix.
wearing.
Might have been.
It's like a cloak, or something like that ring on angel. Like just the act of wearing it, like that's the magic,
Yeah,
Like, you put it around your neck, you're invincible. It doesn't in fact it's touching your body because it wasn't. It was touching
well,
his
it
shirt.
makes him
Yeah.
impervious to some stuff. We didn't actually get the full list of what.
Maybe
he did.
crosses.
They said he could
Yeah.
go in sunlight. The vampire hunters mentioned. that.
Obviously, we're overthinking it. They just yeah. He put a
Yeah,
cross
yeah,
on
yeah.
it. and
Oh,
they-
it's defective now. He put a cross
Yeah.
on it.
Maybe that's it. Maybe the amulet was made of like pure Satan or something, and like the cross neutralized it. I
Yeah.
don't know.
I do like the idea of like the vampire hunter people making a thing. They made it themselves just to draw vampires to it so they could try to kill them.
Yeah.
Because they didn't want to hunt them down anymore. So,
Yeah.
Mhm.
Hey, vampires, we made this thing. It'll make you invincible.
Come get
Come
it.
try and get it.
Yeah.
It's not a trap. These amulets are very hard to fake.
Yeah, and we didn't even address the running, which
Oh shit!
is my
I
favorite
forgot.
effect in the movie. Was the
The speed running.
the speed
Yeah.
running.
Oh man!
Queen of the Damned, step aside. That's all I gotta say. This is amazing. Yeah.
I thought they were trying to do that earlier in the movie.
They
Did
were.
You feel like
there
that?
was some fight scene where they like sped stuff up.
Yeah.
Or it was just shaky cam. We
Ah,
couldn't
you
tell.
couldn't
Yeah.
That's the thing. The one camera guy, awesome.
Yeah.
The other camera guy, what?
Yeah, zoomed in, shaky cam, like
He would,
close
zoom,
up.
he would
Like a GoPro
arbitrarily
attached
zoom
to
in
an
on
inflatable
anything.
tube guy. Put
Yeah.
that in there. Film that scene.
Yeah.
They did attach a GoPro to the wheelchair for that one scene because every time
Yeah.
they hit bumps in the concrete, you saw it move
Yeah,
and everything.
How bad the street was. Yeah.
That was good. So we're at the end here.
Yeah.
He pulls the sheets. He pulls the plastic bags that are only held up by one piece of tape off the windows. He starts melting for a second time. You would have thought he would put more tape on the windows after the other scene, but no, don't have time for that. So he dies. Everyone else is dead. And then it just ends with him being a vampire hunter now?
Yeah, it's basically, there's another long, slow dolly shot.
Of him just sitting in a corner of a
empty
white
room.
painted
back
room.
and forth, back
Yeah.
and forth,
And it's
like
just him
twice.
lighting a cigarette, and then it pans back to the other empty side, and a phone starts ringing. He answers the phone, and we see next to the phone the business card of was it Vamps Are Us.
Vamps Are Us.
And and somebody wants to hire him for a gig. He's got a cemetery, and they're coming out of the ground, and it's so expensive to keep them in there
Not
the
zombies.
first time.
It's like
Yeah. And he's like, no, you got the wrong number or something like that, and there's nobody here.
Yeah, I think he said there's nobody here.
Yeah, and he's like, please, I'll pay you $10,000. Sequel.
yeah.
Cash?
It's a great way to
Cash.
end the movie on like, hey, the main character's not really that righteous type of note.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna save anyone.
He never was. He started
I
as
know
a
he's
bank
a bank robber,
robber,
but usually you have the character like grow,
Yeah,
know.
he
But
didn't
this
grow
guy's
at
like,
all.
oh, for money, sure.
Mhm.
Well,
I tried to like a person.
Yeah, they
got blown up.
They got blown up.
Yelled at me before they did.
Yeah.
I had to run her
Good.
over with a car first,
Yeah.
and then I blew her. And then
There's
my
like a
friend blew her up.
really independent Sundance movie about her life out there.
God.
You know, like you could make
Yeah.
like
The
a really
8 years he
serious.
was in jail, and
Yeah.
she was like dealing with being
You could call it
crippled.
8 years later, premiering at Sundance this year. You know what I mean? 8 years later, it's her
God,
story.
that movie would be
Yeah,
awesome.
and
to be
inspired by the film Vampire.
Oh, yeah.
like an hour and 10 minutes of this movie, and then you get to where Vampire starts, and it goes watch the film Vampires for like 30 seconds,
30 seconds.
and then just shows her blow up.
And it's not refilmed. It's the
Credit. Yeah,
vampires.
it's from Vampires. That'd be awesome.
In the end, I gotta say, this is a really entertaining movie.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
absolutely.
I didn't have any-
laughed my fucking ass off.
Yeah,
during
like
this
I'd be
movie.
actually want to see like the director's other stuff
Yeah.
because if
We have apparently seen some of it.
right,
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
he did a lot of the pop cinema and seduction cinema stuff and all
Okay,
basically one of the indie labels out there. And
The only thing about Playmate. Oh no.
oh no, it's time. We gotta go back down and visit the Morlocks.
Get downstairs.
Get down quick! Ah! Vampires, watch it.
Simon Eloy.
Right.
You have just listened to Bonus Disc. Questions, comments, and movie suggestions can be posted to facebook.com/bonusdisc. Opinions and criticisms of the hosts and guests of Bonus Disc are 100% valid because they sit high atop Judgment Mountain. So quit your whining.